Hi everyone. In this video, I'm going to talk you through how to set up your Gov UK Notify account and to link that to your BOPS admin account so that you can start using Gov UK Notify to send letters, emails and texts from your BOPS account to applicants and to consultees. So the first thing we're going to do is to log into your BOPS admin account, come through to settings, and then underneath your profile, you'll see the option to manage Gov UK Notify. So this is where we're going to add all of the API keys and the IDs that we need to link your BOPS account with your Gov UK Notify account. So you can see on here that in our Southwark test environment, we've already set up all of these keys, and I'll just talk you through how to do that. The next thing to do is to make sure that you've set up the Gov UK Notify account for your council. So it might be the case your council already has an account and that you can just be added as a user, or it might be that you're the first department to be setting this up, in which case just follow the instructions to set up your account, verify your email address, and then once you've logged in, you're going to want to create a new service and give it a name that makes sense to you, just for example, back office planning system or BOPS. So you can see here I've got my live service for Southwark, the back office planning system. So once you log in, you're going to see a template, you're going to see your dashboard and other options down here that you can create and edit. So just to quickly explain what this all means, the dashboard shows all your emails, texts and letters that have been sent. When I go into each of these, I can see which emails have been sent and when. And I can also see the templates that I've set up here. I can also come in and I can see the team members that have got access to the Gov UK Notify account. I can come into the settings and I can set up an API integration key here as well. So to start off with, let's set up an API integration key. And this is the master key that's going to link your Gov UK Notify account to your BOPS account. So come into here, select API keys, and then create an API key. Give the key a name. So for example, you can just call it BOPS or back office planning system key. And then select your type of key. So we probably recommend using the live key if you want to make sure that emails are actually being sent out from your account. You could also use the test function, but in that case, you wouldn't actually be receiving any of the test emails or letters or texts. So it probably makes sense to stick with live. Let's give that a name. And that will simply create a key. So it's very simple to do. All you need to do is copy that API key to your clipboard. Very important that you copy this now, because once you leave this page, you won't be able to view that key again. So copy that. Come back into your Gov UK Notify settings page on BOPS, and then copy and paste that key into this first box here under API key, which I'm not going to do because we already have our API key up and working, but that's where you would be able to paste it, and then you can submit that and save it. The next thing we want to do is set up our reply to email address. So come back into Notify, come through to settings, and under email settings, you have the option to manage reply to email addresses. You can see we already have quite a few email addresses set up here. You can just add a new reply to email address, put in the email address, and then add that to the list. I'm just going to create an example one here to show you. Okay, in this case, it's not going to accept my example. But if I did put in a real email address, what it would do is it would add that address to the list, which you can see here, and it would generate an ID key. You can simply copy that ID key, go back into Gov UK Notify on BOPS, and then paste that ID key under the reply to email address. Okay, so at this stage, you've updated your first two keys. Now we can move on to creating our templates. So these are the templates for your emails, texts, and letters that will be coming out from BOPS. So go back into the Gov UK Notify, and go through the templates. Create a new template, and then let's start off with an email. So select email template. I'm just going to call it test letter. And you can see here it's got different sections that you need to format. To find how to populate these templates, come into the BOPS Private Beta onboarding guide, and we've got screenshots of how to set each of these up. So for example, you can see here the email template. All I'm going to do is simply copy exactly what I see on that screen. So subject and body in the message. And what you'll notice is that as I type that in, the text turns yellow after I finished it. So exactly like that, all I've done is I've copied the email template from the BOPS onboarding Google Doc that you should have access to. I've entered it in, I've saved it, and that's created my test letter template. So now I've created my letter template. I'm given a template ID, and just the same as with the other two fields that we've already filled in, I can just copy that template ID to my clipboard, and I can paste that in here where it says email template. So now all you simply need to do, I'm just going to delete that one from our system because we don't need it. All you need to do is follow the same exact process for your test email template, letter template, and text message template. And again, examples of all those templates are available here in these screenshots in the onboarding Google Doc. And that's everything you need to do to set up Gov UK Notify. So we put in our API key, we put in our applied to email address key, and we've created and linked our 3 different templates. So now I can simply submit, and that's going to save everything. The other thing you can do is you can check that each of these are working. So I just click there on check settings, and what I can actually do is I can follow the instructions on the screen in order to test that all the integrations are working. I'm not going to do that in this video, but it's very simple. You just enter in, for example, your own address here, and you can just put in a test subject, test body, send the email, and that should come through to your email address. So that's one way to check. The same with checking your texts are working. You can put in your phone number and put in some sort of test subject for the body. When checking letter settings, remember you will be charged for any real letters that you send from the system. So if you're checking this, what you should do, you can put in an address, you can put in a heading and a message, you can create the letter, and when you create the letter, it's going to give you a reference number. If you copy that reference number and come back into Gov UK Notify and go to the dashboard, then you might remember that I mentioned at the start of this video that this is where you can keep track of all the emails, letters, and texts that have been sent from your Gov UK Notify system. If I wanted to do a test letter, I could send that test from BOPS, come into letter, and I would be able to see that pop up here. And all I would do to make sure I don't get charged is simply click on the link. It will show me the test letter, and at the bottom of the screen, it will say cancel letter. Just click on that and it will ask you, sure, just say yes. And as long as you do that on the same day that you do the test, you won't get charged for that letter because it won't get sent out. So that is everything you need to know about how to set up Gov UK Notify. If you have any questions, speak to the BOPS team. If you haven't got access to the Google Doc for onboarding, please let us know because it's really crucial you have access to that. And thank you for watching.